Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, is failing. But her latest failed attempt to rise from the ashes has been followed by the return of a strong ally, Amanda Sinclair, Michelle Morgan. Phyllis, attempt to coerce Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, into paying her in exchange for supposed intel about Aristotle Dumas, no actor known to be cast for this role, was foolish. She followed it with an ill-fated attempt to communicate with him old school, meaning through a phone call. Thankfully for Phyllis, she just received a most unexpected gift. Amanda's surprise return to Genoa City, Wisconsin, provides a needed confidant and a direct connection to the still unseen new character Aristotle. Aristotle Dumas, reveal is coming. Whether Aristotle is a man or a woman has been answered verbally. Amanda is the first person to say she met him in person. Amanda's place at Aristotle's hand-picked attorney is intriguing. Viewers recall that Morgan's second character left Genoa City, Wisconsin, a year ago. Her relationship with Devin Winters' Bryden James ended with a betrayal, as he and the then Abby Newman Abbott, Melissa Ordway, were becoming involved and would eventually marry. Considering Damian Kane's Jermaine Rivers' role with Dumas Company, which may soon end, and Victor's repeated mentions of this business rival, it would appear that this new character's reveal is soon coming. Phyllis Summers needs to settle. Phyllis continues to grapple with the aftereffects of her and Sharon Newman's Sharon case kidnapping. In contrast, Sharon has steadied herself. Sharon and Phyllis's developing friendship is still forming and arguably may not last. However, for the moment, both women are honest about their bond. Sharon's hope to reconcile with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, noticeably bothers Phyllis. However, the bond referenced has both ladies restraining themselves around each other and not offering barbs. It will be intriguing to see if Sharon and Amanda continue to aid Phyllis in her recovery from what appears to be post-traumatic stress. Of course, Amanda's role as Phyllis' ally, position in Aristotle's company, and access to him imply that she's likely to be more helpful in the short term. Billy Abbott continues to sabotage himself. Who is more reckless than Billy Abbott? Jason Thompson. Few would offer another name regarding the mix of current storylines. His attempt to take on Victor and Aristotle is entirely ridiculous. However, he has Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, in his corner and, more importantly, as his financial backer. While he may not realize it, Jack can rein in Billy simply by pulling the money back if Thompson's character goes too far. Although he may have already waded too far into dangerous territory, as Sally Spectra Courtney Hope learned when he mentioned pitting Victor and Aristotle against each other. This site is a leading source for everything linked to The Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Phyllis finds a powerful new ally as Billy's mistake worsens. Genoa City is about to ignite, and at the center of the firestorm are Phyllis Summers, Billy Abbott, and an unexpected new ally who could change everything. A brewing storm. Phyllis Summers has always been a woman who walks a razor-thin line between vengeance and vulnerability, between brilliance and madness. But lately, she's been teetering even closer to the edge. After months of being pushed, deceived, and betrayed, by her children, her frenemies, and even her own heart, she's done playing nice. And at the same time, Billy Abbott has found himself spiraling, once again, due to a mistake he thought he could handle. But in typical Billy fashion, what started as a minor slip has now turned into a full-fledged disaster with stakes that threaten to bring down not only him, but the Abbott family legacy. Now, as Genoa City watches in suspense, Phyllis is about to strike. But she won't be doing it alone. A powerful new ally is about to enter the picture, one whose partnership could be the most dangerous and delicious the show has seen in years. Billy's fatal mistake. It began with a calculated risk, a private investment that Billy made behind the scenes at Chancellor Winters. Tempted by a promise of fast returns and a desperate need to prove himself, yet again Billy funneled company funds into a tech startup run by a shady former associate from his gambling days. The promise: AI-driven consumer finance apps. The reality: fraud, mismanagement, and a sudden SEC investigation that's now sniffing around Genoa City's business elite. At first, Billy tried to cover his tracks. Lily, ever patient and loyal, gave him the benefit of the doubt. But that patience has a limit, and Billy may have finally crossed it. The whispers inside Chancellor Winters have grown louder. Jill is furious, Devin is livid, and Lily might just be done. And just as everything unravels, who's watching from the sidelines, taking notes and waiting for the perfect moment to strike? Phyllis. Phyllis rebuilds, and plots. After the breakdown of her relationship with her daughter Summer and the continuing fallout from the Diane Jenkins resurrection drama, Phyllis was floundering. No job, no allies, no respect, even her most basic moves in Genoa City were being second-guessed. But Phyllis is nothing if not a survivor. And in the wreckage of her own reputation, she found clarity. She doesn't need to be liked. She needs to be powerful. As she begins slowly reintegrating herself into the Genoa City elite, helping Daniel at Omega Sphere, reconnecting with old contacts, and cozying up to unlikely frenemies, she starts uncovering whispers about Billy's financial mishap. It doesn't take long before she realizes the scale of it. And suddenly, she has her in. But Phyllis knows better than to go at it alone. No, if she's going to reclaim her throne, she'll need someone who shares her hunger, her ruthlessness, and her willingness to burn bridges to build empires. Enter Tucker McCall. Yes, you read that right. Tucker McCall, the black sheep billionaire, estranged father of Devon, and perpetual wildcard, has returned to Genoa City after a mysterious absence. He claims he's here to make amends and rebuild his legacy. But insiders suspect something more calculating is afoot. Tucker has always had a soft spot for chaos, especially when it benefits him. And when Phyllis approaches him with a proposition to expose Billy's mistake and capitalize on the fallout, his interest is piqued. The two form an unlikely alliance, one built on mutual ambition and shared grievances. Tucker wants leverage over Chancellor Winters to position himself as a business savior. Phyllis wants to watch Billy, and perhaps Jack, by association, burn. Together, they have the access, the skills, and the audacity to make it happen. The alliance that shakes Genoa City. Phyllis and Tucker start orchestrating a subtle smear campaign against Billy. Leaked financial documents. Anonymous tips to regulators. Whispers at the GCAC bar. Within weeks, the tide is turning. The media is circling. Investors are nervous. And Billy is losing his grip. At the same time, Tucker quietly begins buying up interests connected to the failing startup Billy invested in. If he plays this right, he won't just profit, he'll own the mess, and Chancellor Winters will have to come to him to fix it. Phyllis, meanwhile, begins publicly pivoting back into tech consulting, positioning herself as a savvy industry expert just as Omega Sphere gains steam. She's using Daniel's success to validate her own narrative, and no one's noticing that she's also using it as a springboard to take over the ashes of the failed startup Billy once championed. Genoa City is buzzing, but no one suspects that Phyllis and Tucker are working together, yet. Billy's breaking point. With the walls closing in, Billy grows increasingly erratic. His temper flares, his relationship with Lily fractures even further, and he starts lashing out at friends and foes alike. Jill, furious but wary of family scandal, demands he step down, temporarily, from his position, a soft exile that only deepens Billy's spiral. He tries to confront Tucker, who plays coy. He tries to accuse Phyllis, who innocently denies everything with that signature smile. And worst of all, he begins to suspect Jack may be secretly relieved to see him fall. Could his brother have turned a blind eye just to regain control of the Abbott legacy? Billy, betrayed and paranoid, begins drinking again, a path with dangerous consequences. He's pushing everyone away, and now, even Victoria is beginning to see him as a liability rather than a co-parent or confidant. A new Phyllis emerges. For Phyllis, this moment is vindication. The woman who was cast out, mocked, and written off has not only returned, she's winning. And yet, something in her stirs. She's always lived for the thrill of the fight, but Tucker's cold calculation makes her pause. How far is she willing to go? Is taking Billy down truly satisfying, or is she becoming something she swore she never would, a shadow of Victor Newman, pulling strings and watching people fall? Daniel notices the change in his mother. Summer too, watching from the sidelines, begins to wonder if maybe, just maybe, Phyllis has found a way to rebuild without burning everything down. But they don't know the whole story. Not yet. What comes next? As the dust begins to settle, several bombshells loom on the horizon. Lily is secretly meeting with Devon to restructure Chancellor Winters' leadership, and may oust Billy entirely. Jack is starting to suspect Tucker's re-emergence is no coincidence, and begins investigating. Tucker, emboldened by success, starts setting his sights on Jabbit, and may drag Phyllis along for the ride. Phyllis, torn between triumph and trepidation, must now decide whether her alliance with Tucker is worth the cost of what little soul she has left. And Billy, he's not out yet. His fall from grace may have just begun, but the fire in his eyes suggests one thing: he's going to take someone down with him. Final thoughts. Power shifts and hidden agendas. The Young and the Restless has always thrived on complex characters and explosive alliances, and this latest storyline is no exception. Phyllis aligning with Tucker McCall has the potential to reshape Genoa City's power dynamics for years to come. Will Phyllis's thirst for redemption be her salvation, or her ultimate undoing? Can Billy find his footing before he loses everything, or will his pride drive him into oblivion? And what exactly is Tucker's endgame? Is he a businessman looking for legacy, or a villain in disguise? One thing is certain. In Genoa City, alliances are fragile, power is fleeting, and no secret stays buried for long. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our Update World 24 YouTube channel for more updates.